And Bisola Miriam, if you would start by introducing yourself, tell us who you are, and then you put together a really nice visual roadmap of our discussion today. So I'll let you take it from here and feel free to screen share.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Bisola Miriam. So people always, say the name in different ways. So just to make life easy for everyone, I came up with a short form, which is BM. Now, it's not the American BM or baby mama or Boer movement. Okay, it's BM, but there's no other way to solve this puzzle but to say the short form is BM. But of course, this is the amazing BM. So when you think about BM, just think about the amazing BM, which is me.
I love it.
And so I came into the United States as an international student, and I completed a graduate degree in communication studies from the University of Alabama in 2022, rather. So I finished with a specialization in social justice and inclusion advocacy, and I over time then found my path, which is social work and law. And the reason I moved to Chicago is to be able to pursue my goal of getting, a couple of degrees, one in social work, another in law, and then a PhD along the line. So it's like a whole lot lined up for me, but I'm really excited about the plan, because I'm not just interested in doing advocacy and doing community work. I want to be able to do research that can actually make meaningful, impacts. And I'm also a social entrepreneur. I happen to be the founder of a nonprofit, the Left-Handers Africa, and a social enterprise, which is ideyforyou. So it was on a beautiful afternoon or evening on social media that I found, Hera Hub Chicago. And it was just a case of manifestation, you dreaming and attracting what you want. And then I saw the page and I was like, okay, let me see what they have to offer. And fast forward to now, I had the amazing opportunity of meeting with Amanda. I learned more about the organization and the fact that it's female focused, a group of people that I'm very passionate about as a survivor of domestic violence and as someone who has also come to learn how important it is to empower women so we can reduce intergenerational violence and trauma. And I do believe that there are different channels through which we can do that, one of which is empowering women to be more financially independent and launching and scaling their own businesses. I can keep talking, as this is not a TED Talk, but yes, this is just a brief introduction about me, and I'm really excited to be in this space with you all.
Yeah, thank you so much. Amazing.
So I'm not going to dwell so much on this screen sharing part. What I basically did with my slide was to kind of, if you ever get a chance to click on the link and see the, the slides, I kind of did an overview of what it means to be a digital business owner or to run a digital enterprise. And so I went from, the first part to the idea of launching the brand, building the brand, and all of that. Now, that's not the goal of this, conversation. I really want us to focus more on the idea that it is possible to have one profit center, to create one knowledge product or one digital product that can actually lead to many profit centers. And so to do that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can kind of focus on ourselves and really make this meaningful for everybody.
Awesome. Okay.
At this point, okay, you have something to say for me?
No. I was just going to say, would it be helpful, Bisola Miriam, to get a sense of what everybody's working on, and perhaps we can speak to some of the things and all the great links that you shared. I'll paste those on the chat again as folks come in. Do you want to call on a few folks to ask for input?
So now what I would want to do is, I'm going to flip the script a little, but just I want to center everybody, but my approach or idea of doing that would be that we all open the pre-tests Google Doc.
Okay,
And
great.
then I'm
And
gonna
I'll
call
paste,
on
I'll
you
paste that,
all.
I'll paste that again in the chat as Katie just hopped on, so she's got access to that. There you go.
Okay, great. So if it is okay, I can also share that screen, so we can all see the questions.
Yep, perfect.
So these are the pre-test questions, and I'm gonna call on, I'm very good at, putting people on the spot.
Awesome.
So the first question we have here is, now, when you think about this question, I want us to also think about the theme of this conversation, which is creating a digital product that can lead to multiple profit centers, or that can lead to, profit centers. Now, the first question is, what is the one thing that makes you most stressed about running your business? So if no one is willing to volunteer, I'll call on someone, but I'm gonna give you like 5 seconds. Who wants to go first? When you think about your business, what is the one thing that makes you most stressed about running your business?
Cheryl, I'm going to pick on you. Come on. You got to pull off mute, my dear.
Thank you for that, Felina. Our first interaction. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently, or hopefully you're gonna give me a little chance to think about this. Do you want me to just answer the first question, Miriam?
Yeah.
What is the one thing that makes me most stressed about running my business? I think marketing. So coming up with the right verbiage and packaging around a new service or product that I have. Let's say a new service.
Okay. Marketing. Okay, noted. Who else wants to go for the next question? These are just a set of randomly thought of questions, but that are going to be leading us to what we're really doing in this conversation or session. So the second question says, what aspect of your business would you love to keep working on if you have more free time? And anyone aside from Cheryl can answer this question.
You might have to call on people.
Okay. Valerie?
Bringing my website up to speed, quite frankly. It's a lot to post on that, and I'm just limited because I suffer from a lot of pain, and so that just keeps me away from the computer. And even I work with Falon, but Falon, sorry if you don't know, a website builder that Felina always recommends as well, but it still requires tremendous time on a computer and diligence and focus. But then the other thing was, what makes me most stressed, which is still similar, is just actually keeping up with emails and people writing to me and giving them concrete answers and scheduling.
Yeah, thank you. That makes sense. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure,
We're
thanks.
all answering the same question and giving the same kind of answers, but in different ways, even though the questions are not directly connected. Now, so the third question is, what aspect of your business are you afraid of delegating to others? After this one, I think we'll take one more and then we move on to the next aspect of this session. So the third question is, what aspect of your business are you afraid of delegating to others? Teresa, do you want to go?
Oh, there, I was trying to unmute. I have to let go of being a control freak. I want to delegate, and then sometimes I'm just scared to, because I think if I delegate it, it's not going to get done in the time I asked it to be done, because I've had bad experiences with like virtual assistants, especially with my website. And so now I'm stuck with a website that I know I need help with, and I don't have the knowledge or the time to actually get in there and do what needs to be done. And so I'm a little, kind of weary. So just having just someone to do those things I need to have done so I can focus on actually truly building my online course and working with my students.
That
and my
makes
clients.
sense. Makes sense. Thanks for sharing that. So I'm going to stop at this point so we can get into the first part of this, session. One thing is common with everyone here. We're all overwhelmed. We all are running the businesses like our daytime jobs. I mean, one of the things I said to myself is, over time, I've come to this place where I say to myself that, you know what, I'm only going to focus on that aspect of the business that makes me most happy, that really would help me touch lives, which is going out there to sell and market and get new leads and get new people to see what I have to offer. Now, when we focus on the sides of business that really are operational, I mean, everyone talks about this. We've read it in books, and if I keep talking about it, it may sound like I'm just repeating the same thing, but the truth still remains that we cannot build companies or scale up if we're running businesses like, we're raising a baby, or like it's my baby, this kind, like when, what mothers do typically, we're also, you don't want nobody touching your baby, like that's the mindset that a lot of women carry into starting businesses. And so we cannot move on. We cannot even do the things that really matter if we have that mindset. And as a trauma-informed person, I always, think I think about how our attachment styles, our personalities have a way of shaping the way we show up or run our businesses. Now, what I really want us to learn in this session is the idea that you can create a knowledge product that can lead to multiple profit centers. But the question is, how then do you create a product or create a knowledge product or a digital product, as it were, if you do not have time to do it? If what you spend your time doing is responding to emails, being in the DM, creating the content, and yet you're the one editing the videos, you're the one scheduling the posts, you're the one posting. How then do you find new leads? How then do people see your free download and download those resources and be like, oh, wow, I just read something from this person. I want to book a coaching call. Do you even have to take all the coaching calls? Right? And so these are the different issues that, I've done all of these things and I've struggled. And I woke up one day and said, you know what? If this really has to work, I do not mind starting all over again. And I think a lot of time we try to patch things up. We're so afraid of starting over again, because actually we're still in the same spot. We're not moving forward. So why not even break the entire system and say, you know what, if this really has to work, let's recreate. Let's do something different, a departure from the norm. And so what I want us to focus on at this point is what one knowledge product can do for your business, and that would change your marketing, your sales system, the entire scope of your business. Now, I'm not going to talk so much about delegation because we're still going to talk about that later, even though that's not the focus of this conversation. But I want you all to start thinking about how, if you have more time to write, right? If you are able to delegate to other people, coaching calls, email responses, answering messages in the DM, think about how you can actually wake every day and be able to have a carefully curated content shared on your social media pages, which you do not have to be the one to share. But you can write if you have so many things going on in your head, right? You cannot sit down and make that bespoke video that someone else can edit for you if you do not have the time to do that. So my idea of creating a knowledge product is that an entrepreneur is able to create time to create content that can help create awareness that can be useful for marketing and that can also be used in creating other products that the entrepreneur can make money from. So I'm going to simplify this. So this is me. My name is Bisola Miriam. I'm going to use myself, for this case study real quick. I am running a business. I respond to emails. I take coaching calls. I also check, what is going on with my website. I am the one even setting up the website. I schedule my videos on my YouTube channel. I do all of this. At the end of the day, there is no conversion. People are not seeing my videos. They are not seeing the posts that I'm making because I have failed to focus on that one thing that can lead people to seeing these different things that I'm working on. And what is that one thing? Creating a lead magnet that is so simple and I will change the scope of my business. So a lead magnet is a digital product that you make once and that people will continue to download and have access to, and then it keeps increasing your awareness. Now, the lead magnet does not sell itself. It doesn't promote itself. Someone has to promote the lead magnet, and that person is you. So your own job should be to not try so hard to sell to people, but to create that one lead magnet that can be like the channel that draws people in to you getting to know about your business, to following you on social media and all of that.
Can we pause on that? Because this is so important. I want to hear, Kelly, I'm going to bring it over to you. Because so Kelly has an online course. I'll let her explain it. And this is so important what you're saying, because I meet so many people who create digital products, but then they don't actually end up selling those digital products very well. So if we can pull a few examples, and Bisola Miriam, if you can give us your example too, that would be helpful. But Kelly, I'm gonna pivot over to you for part of this conversation here.
Yeah, so that's a great idea, lead magnet. I have actually one lead magnet on my website. And so I guess I go back to the question earlier, how do, the struggle or the problem is how do we get people find the lead magnet? So that's something that I'm working on. I have a list of people I'm emailing, and then I am posting on my social channel, but I'm not seeing the traction. So, and I know what it takes to get it out there. There are some strategies like paid or maybe partnerships. So those are the things. It's a lot of moving parts. So any ideas or suggestion on how we can do it on a low budget or no budget, or for some people who are on the call as well?
So one strategy that I have used continuously is, so I think you want to have people download something that they can have control over without necessarily visiting your websites. So in my opinion, I feel like people think, oh, if I'm visiting a website, do I have to pay for something, my information and all of that? So one thing that I would share is having a calendar that allows you, build a strategy around that one product. For instance, what you have on your website. So my idea of strategy is multiple ways that gets people to pay attention to you. Because the more people are paying attention to you, okay, they'll be interested in what you have to offer. And when I say pay attention to you, I'm talking about paying attention to your, your page, your socials, right? Now, if you are the one responding to email, so I think there might be some underlying issues that you haven't mentioned while you were talking real quick. So I'm interested in knowing what your everyday looks like.
Well, I'm very active in social, and then I do have a program where there's some monthly masterclass. So I touch the people that are in my database at least one. I try to do it once a week, and social is every day. But I know my challenge is to grow that database, because they are aware that what I'm doing, the people that I already know, but I need to get out of that, circle and grow my audience.
Mhm.
So my day to day is, really planning on, my social, my email, my program. I have partners, I talk to them as well. And then I have other clients on the meeting side of it. So that's my
Okay.
website.
Mhm.
So today, actually, I posted something on LinkedIn about an affiliate program.
Mhm.
So I'm giving people a percentage of the enrollment fee, because the goal here is to get, students, whether they're a beginner or a lifetime yogi, they can join classes online, which I did, and I went to the certification path. So you'll see all the different levels here.
Mhm.
So yeah, so that's the latest I've done, is the affiliate program. And I am very active and intentional on talking to people who may, be a potential partner or collaborator, because I have wellness experts in this page
Mhm.
that you can see in one of the tabs, and I'm open to collaborating.
Okay,
Yeah, those
so
experts. So if you are a coach in the wellness space, you can be part of this community. And it's just, a mutually beneficial partnership wherein, they become part of this website, and then people can go to their profile, and then I do the masterclass with them. So last year when I launched this in October, I did a 9-week series wherein 8 of them, talked about their, line of, not business, but what their expertise is. So for example, self-care, mental health, healing, um, success, and all that. So we redefined all those areas. So
okay.
that's my launch. That's my 90-day launch. And then this year I'm doing a monthly masterclass. So I've done 2 so far, and then I have one expert every month. And then I have the membership, which I want to grow and do a weekly group huddle with them as well. And
Okay.
then the quarterly retreats is the biggie. So that's still kind of like up there, and I'm trying to, I am organizing that. I'm talking to people, talking to the hotels for potential venues, but I have all the structures in place, like pricing and all of that. So once I get some commitment on the coaches, then we can market it.
Okay. So in my opinion, honestly, I think you have so much going on. And so with those tons of activities, there's little to no time to actually, engage on social, like properly. When I say engage, I'm not just talking about you posting or, creating content. Like consistency is what leads to conversion, even when you make a reel or you post on LinkedIn. Like the impression counts if you have more content. Now, if you're focusing on trying to onboard clients, facilitating those master classes or trying to get, coaches who would, work with you during those master classes, those are good, activities. But in my opinion, one thing I've come to learn is why it is possible for you to, so one thing is this: you get a client and the client becomes a part of your work or decides to pay for a product. Really, as the person who is the forerunner of the brand, your job is done. Your job is to get the next person and the next person and the next person every time. So if your work is really in delivery, yes, I think we always want to deliver, get reviews, but that's not your job. Your job is to always find new people every day, every time who wants to buy. Not like, oh, yes, someone has bought, so I have to deliver. How about you automating the system? And that is what brings me to the idea of creating a digital product that is automated. If you really want to grow and grow so fast, and really, I would rather recommend that you're thinking about writing your own book.
I'm glad you brought it
book,
up. Somebody brought it up, and I'm like, whoa, really? I guess I didn't really consider myself an
so,
author, but
yeah,
that is in the
exactly.
background.
Because
yeah,
I know we
great.
feel this as women, we really want to help. We just want to help, want to carry people along, and we just keep coaching and coaching. Do you know how much time you spend coaching people and yet they're not implementing?
Mm.
Now you want to create a system that separates you from the stress and the trouble of codependency. And the effective way to do that is in creating a digital product that you can effectively automate. You can run ads to it, you can pay affiliates to get people to see it, you can even host in-person events where all that you're doing is, if for instance, you simply focus for the first 3 months, let me do something different and structure my brand in a quarterly format. So the first 3 months, I want to focus on getting people to download my first free ebook. Just focus on that. Get as many people to download. They're downloading, and make sure that all the information that will create awareness is in that free ebook. Your social media handles, your website. Don't sell anything. Just create awareness. You won't even have to force them to get to know you more, because one, you've created just one free downloadable that they can always access.
Yeah.
Now, within that first 3 months, you're focusing on doing more of content, which is, aside from that free download, you create a content calendar that allows you to create content and post based on schedule. Now, you don't have to post. Really, one thing I've also learned is you don't have to pay people to get service or to get value. So if right now you cannot afford to pay someone else, how about you find people who are looking to start what you've already started and are looking to be mentored by you, and then they go through some sort of internship.
That's one idea. Yeah.
You don't have to pay them. I mean, like, if we always think about, oh no, I can afford it, you would never be able to afford to get people who would make your life easy. So I'm gonna stop here so we can, kind of come back to what we're talking about really, and then we're not expanding to this too much beyond the scope of this conversation. But this is what is working for me. And I will say this honestly to everybody: planning in such a way that I know what I'm doing on a monthly basis, and I know what the focus is on a quarterly basis. So if my focus is, I know how important it is to make money and to sell, but I know how much you can gain from popularity. So if you're popular, popularity is like you're visible. And so how then do you become visible? If we only get to see your post once a month on LinkedIn, you don't generate new followers. You want to have new followers, then there must be a plan to do that. So my opinion, first quarter, let's focus on, we're still in the first quarter. Let's focus on us rethinking our strategy and focusing on how many followers do I have at the end of every week on Instagram? How many new followers do I have at the end of every week on LinkedIn? How many new followers on Facebook? How many new subscribers on my YouTube channel? Now, how many new people are, seeing my post and engaging them? Let's even just focus on the little things. So this is what I'm doing. I create just one. So I'm writing books. And what I'm doing is I'm taking excerpts from those books that I'm writing and simply posting them on the pages where people focus on articles: LinkedIn, Facebook. Now, you're writing that book already, but if you don't make it a habit of thinking this way, okay, I want to write a book. I know it's going to be a lot of work. So how about you put the idea, like, let it be part of your daily routine. You know you have to create content for your audience, right? So how about you make the content that you're posting, let it be part of the book that you're working on, so that you're basically stealing from your book and posting on your socials, putting the appropriate hashtags, routing them to, download something or join your newsletter, because social media is so distracting. So you want to have one place that you're taking everybody to. And that's my way of, rethinking how I'm using my social media. That way, you're not doing so much. You're just simply taking from the big, there's a big cake on the table, and then you're just simply taking a piece. You still have more than enough. So you can actually write a book without being under pressure. Oh no, when am I gonna finish this? You're simply making your social media followers your accountability partners. They have no idea, but you're writing daily in a Google Doc. I'm gonna share this real quick, and I'm gonna make this real fast. I'm not gonna waste your time. So this is what my folder looks like here. Sorry. So I have, personal brand folder. And then I have book chapters. So what I'm doing here is I created different Google Docs for the different books that I'm working on. And then I will just simply take a little, I'll just take an excerpt from the book or like 2 short paragraphs, and then I'll just post on social media. Now, I have to tailor it to fit that social media page. The preambles, I don't need to post on my social. I just focus on the part that really is important to the people that I want, whose attention I need to get. The thing is, you get new followers that do not even know you if you're posting consistently. And it doesn't have to become like a job. If you are writing a book or working on a knowledge product that you're simply taking from. And when you post that, put the right hashtags, guess what? On LinkedIn, you get new followers. Once people are seeing your post and you're consistent about it, new people will discover you. Now, when they come to your DM and say, wow, I really love that, it's not your duty to call them. It's the responsibility of the person who is interning with you or who you're doing a trade by barter with, to talk to them. Your job is to keep writing, to keep creating, because you are the thought leader, right? And you can, if you're busy, overwhelmed with all these operations, man, you can't thrive as a creative. Your creative juice is definitely gonna dry. So one thing I'll share is create a content strategy that is monthly or quarterly in such a way that you know at the back of your mind that you're working on your first digital product. You may want to give it out for free, depending on what works for you. Or you may choose to make the first chapter of that digital product the free product, the lead magnet, or the free chapter you're giving out. But let this be your first exercise of, thinking through content creation, because really, this is the game. Social media is a new market. And if you can win there, you don't have to really go all out or be so stressed to get new people to see your brand every day.
Yeah.
Now, while you're doing this, start thinking about how that, book you're working on can become a video course, can become an audio course. As you're working on the book, you're chapterizing that book, right? You can turn the chapters into a podcast that you record and sell to another audience or to those who want to buy. But you see, you will not make good sales from the other product if you're marketing from the very small product or from the visibility standpoint has failed. It will be easier for people to actually buy, okay, when you're known, you're seen as an authority. And how do you become an authority? Impression. Consistency in creating a certain impression with or on your audience, right? And how do they know you, like you, and trust you? All of this are also in the slides. If you're not consistently talking about that one thing, writing short posts about it is the easy way out, because you're working on a knowledge product that you're going to be selling. So you won't see it as, oh, I'm just wasting my time, because you're actually paying yourself by working on that book. because that book is what would give you the freedom that you need. And that book can scale, you can scale that book into an online course, into a video course, into a coaching program. But if you're busy coaching right now, you're working with few people who may even be reluctant to give you reviews. And then you're chasing them and running after people to give you reviews, where you can actually focus on being visible, and then you route them to a channel where they get all the calls, they get clarity on how to get what. If the book is on pre-order, you are not the one talking to them about all of that. You have one person who is giving them the orientation. And you wake up every day working on your book with a timeline to launch at a certain date. Your launch activity.
Did you make your own, or did you order?
One
'Cause
second.
What did you say?
She forgot she's not on mute. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
okay.
let me wrap up. So I don't want to, I know people are taking in so much, and I don't want this to be like, oh, another session. But I'm really so keen on people doing business effortlessly and not starting another daytime job. I am done with that.
You're totally right, because I see this all the time for female entrepreneurs. They're so strapped because they're doing all the things, and I'll put myself in that category too, of just wanting to kind of control everything. That you're right. We're never going to push through that next level if we're trying to hold on to all the things. Bisola, Miriam, I'd love to see an example. Do you mind pulling up your site and share, what your opt-in is? I'd love to see what you're doing. It might be helpful for folks to have another example.
So even though this is what my website looks like, okay, I hope I am answering your question correctly, Femina.
Yeah, love to see your site and an example of one of your opt-ins, of what works for you in your business.
Okay, so what I don't know why that isn't pulling up, but I think it's currently.
Sometimes it's slow on Zoom. It just takes a sec. There you go.
So this is what I did with, we did with this website. We created all the story, every information people need to know is on the homepage about the brand. Now, people can subscribe to the newsletter from here. Now, this is where I focus on. The newsletter is where I am doing most of the work, and my newsletter is Substack. Substack is, I'm sure some of us or most of us are familiar with Substack. Well, I think the link, I also shared some of those tools on the slides that I shared. So now this is the only place where I come on a daily basis to, not like daily basis. So what I did is I'm already creating an impression with these books. These books are not out yet, but somehow I'm creating an impression and letting people know that, oh, something is coming up. So what I did is, after setting up my account on Substack, creating the bio, setting up the basics, right? Remember that I showed you a folder that contains chapters of the books that I'm working on, right? So on a daily basis, not on a daily basis, I beg your pardon. So what I did was to, I usually would come to my dashboard on Sundays, and then there's a thread that I've created. So the thread means that every time I'm going to post something else from the books that I'm working on, it simply goes under that same post. Like, I'm not creating a new post every day. So what I do is, I'll give you an example. So there are 4 threads here. Let's work out together, which links or resonates with the book, which is the Workout from Depression book. So all my books are on pre-order. Interesting. And my way of getting people to know about the book is to simply do what? Create a thread around that book on my newsletter. Now, this newsletter is not, it allows me to have conversation with these people, even without me being there. I can just set up the email in such a way that every day, so let's work out together is here. And this, everything that I post under this thread will just come right under this very one. Now, I know people suck when it comes to, keeping up with emails and all of that. And where do you get people's attention? On social media. And so while you're not going to be focusing on keeping them on social media, you want to take them somewhere where if something happens to your account, something happens to their social media handle, they somehow can still continue to hear from you. So when you do this, so what you do is not to wake up and, oh, I want to post on social media first. The first activity before the start of every week is I have a newsletter. Now on my newsletter, I will schedule the content for that week. So maybe yours business is not like mine, where I have 4 impact areas that we focus on: fitness for survivors, healing, from childhood trauma and narcissistic abuse for survivors, digital business for survivors, as well as educational advancement opportunities for survivors. Those are my 4, impact areas. Now, because I want to be a thought leader, I want people to know, like, and trust me as that authority based on these 4 impact areas. I am doing everything using all my creative channels to get people to know, like, and trust me as that person who knows so much about these 4 areas. And my way of doing that is to start writing books. The books are not ready yet, but I'm creating the impression by first, I created a Google, a folder, created Google Docs in those folder, focusing on those different books that I'm working on. I set up the website because website builds, authority. Builds trust, right? Landing page does not mean that people are buying yet. It just helps you create this impression that something is coming up. Now, I'm not focusing on the website. The work is on social media, collaborating with communities, speaking engagements, and also offline events. So I am doing a combination of all of this every month. That's the goal. Oh, I'm speaking at Hera, or I have to speak at another, with another community in a couple of days or weeks. While I'm doing all of this, the social post is not stressful. Why? Because I am just simply taking from the book that I'm working on. And in every other places or channels, whether I'm speaking online or offline, or posting on social media, I'm creating just one single impression, which is about the book. And I also do have, we do have a YouTube channel. I had to, I had one with over 1,000 subscribers. I saw that I was growing subscribers, but they were not engaging. So I just abandoned that and created another channel. I'm going to show you what that looks like real quick. Just 35 subscribers. I'm going to make this real quick. Just 35 subscribers, but you will see that the views and engagements definitely far better than what I had on my channel with over 1,000 subscribers. Sorry. So this is what the channel looks like. And I created this new channel a month ago, and I have, over 116 views on this very low ticket offer that I'm promoting. So even though I know that I want people to, get to know about my book, I want them to buy. Sorry, I'm going to stop sharing. Do you know what I'm doing to keep them and bring them into my network? I'm promoting just one offer, and that offer is my lowest ticket offer. I'm not the one sitting to teach them anything. I have a group of people whose job is to make sure that the resources that I've created in terms of audio notes and all of that, they make them listen, they make them take the program. So my goal is really to sell my books to these people. but I want them to be somewhere where they're getting value. Even though my book might not be out until the end of the year, because that's really my plan. And the reason is because I want to take these books to physical events in Africa and some parts in the US, Canada and Europe, as well as Australia. And the goal is to now focus on while the social media part is going on, you're speaking at events and, doing online events, speaking at offline engagement, talking to churches, social groups, just speak for free, keep giving the value. You're increasing your awareness, and at the end of everything, you're routing them through one lead magnet, which can be your free download, or your lead magnet can be your newsletter. In this case, my email list. So it shouldn't be just an email list where you route people in and then they are not getting value. You have to think that through.
Yeah.
So even if they know you, like you, and they're getting all this value, people get really distracted. So the way to keep creating an impression is keep writing your book so that you can keep having something to post on social. And if you're writing and posting from the same book, right, you can actually come up with short videos of not more than a minute. We talked about reels like 2 weeks ago. Create a minute reel, dancing, doing something really fun, and you then use that to focus. You use that as your strategy on social media platforms where people really don't pay attention to content that they can read, like Instagram, right? And how many minutes does it take me to create the kind of reels that I created? It doesn't take, so I sit there, I just simply dress up one day, look really good, change my outfit a couple of times, time myself, do this for like 2 hours or 3 hours. Guess what? I come up with like 15 different videos of me just doing something really fun. Now I'm enjoying the activity because I focus on the things that make me happy while I'm creating those fun contents. So if you visit my social media page, like my Instagram, the strategy is not the same as what I do on LinkedIn. I'm simply taking from my book for LinkedIn, and I simply sit down and say, okay, what kind of content will I do for all these, funky places? What I do is I just simply dress up one morning, look good, and focus on ideas from the book. And then I just simply make short videos with very good captions and put it out there in video formats. This is the simple, content creation activity that will not be stressful for you as an entrepreneur, because you should have some basic video editing skill. Now, for the main content, okay, that will serve as another kind of lead magnet to create awareness for your book, I would recommend that you also sit down one day and batch videos that will last you even for the next 2 quarters, right? Which is what I am doing. So I sit down one day and then I look really good, change my outfit. You are working on the book, and the book is still the same thing that you're using to create those videos that you pay someone to edit for you, and then they will schedule these videos on your YouTube channel. And those videos would also serve as, promotional materials for your book. And in each of those videos that will be on the social media, on the YouTube channel, of course, you have to make sure that the YouTube video is not Instagram video, neither is it your Facebook post. So the content has to be longer, but you're not going to be stressing out if you just simply sit down one day and say, okay, I want to make 15 videos and I want to make them like 5 minutes videos each. That's not a lot of work, right? And at the end of the day, think about the multiplication effect in terms of the number of people that can discover those videos.
Yeah, absolutely. So brilliant. This concept with the book and like letting folks know that the book is coming, because now you're on the hook for it. I meet so many entrepreneurs that are like, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. I'm like, go tell everybody you're going to write a book, make the cover, put it out on your social. And now you've got an accountability group, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
I want people to respond. I feel like I'm talking too much. I know I do that a lot, so I want.
No, it's
people
okay.
to-
We just have 2 minutes left here. I wanted to pivot over to your post questions.
I have a
So I just,
question.
yeah, please.
I was wondering, you mentioned something about, and I just wanted to say, yes, I love that idea too, because if you tell people about what you're planning to do, you have your reputation out there, you got to follow through with it, even though you know in your heart you're going to do it, right? But this just helps. I was wondering, what tools did you mention here when you were saying what tools will you need to create your first 10-page ebook?
Okay.
What tools did I miss some suggestions of tools? I saw one of them, but didn't see the others in the chat.
Okay, so I want everyone to take note of the things that I'm going to be mentioning real quick, although they're also in the slides. So think about you now and ask yourself, what is that one thing that you want people to learn about your business or know you for? So I want us to then think about, okay, so 5 ways to XYZ. It's just a very simple, DIY resource that people can easily access. Now you want to make sure that it is something that would get people's attention and they will want to read or open. Now, when you take that out of the way and you sort the title, the audience that resource is meant for, we can then now think of how then do you create that first ebook. Now, in the post test, I asked with the question here is, do you now believe, well, I didn't kind of touch on that, but I know, and I want you to know that it is possible to create a digital product such as an ebook in 24 hours. How then do we do that? That brings me to Cheryl's question. So here are some tools that we can use. I'm gonna mention them and I'll quickly share my screen so you all can see what those platforms look like, right? Before you get started.
Great. And just a fair heads up, we're going to have some other folks joining us for Writers Lounge that kicks off now at the top of the hour. So
I'll make this real quick, I promise.
Yeah, no worries.
So the first tool you need is a Google Doc, okay? The first tool you need is a Google Doc, right? And I know everyone can access that. Now, you need a design doc. I'm gonna put the ADA to create your book cover. Okay. So you need this tool to create your book cover. Right? So this is the website. I would copy and I will paste it in the charts. So the first thing you need, like I said, is the Google Doc. Don't forget that. The Google Doc is where you're writing. Now, I know there are cheat strategies for writing easily or quickly, right? Such as voice typing and all of that. But I think it's pretty stressful because you have to start editing. I mean, you can reduce the amount of editing you would do if you actually do the typing. And it also helps your ability to develop the actual writing skill, right? So I would recommend that you write. The thing is for just like if you're working out, if you're starting off, you feel like, I don't think I can do this, but over time you build the stamina for it, right? And you start seeing yourself, oh, you went from 5 pounds to lifting 100 kg and all of that. So I know you can build that stamina for that. So first, get a Google Doc, okay? The second thing, please write this down. Visit this website. It is ideyforyou.com. It's also on the slide. Now, that's where you create the cover. Now, what then do you use in creating the cover that you would upload on ideyforyou? You would have to use Canva, okay? Most of us are familiar with this. Canva actually would give you, if you type right here, you find different options. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. I thought I am.
It's okay. Yeah. The tool that you just shared, and Amanda, thanks for putting that in the chat. It's pretty interesting. And Lisa, I know we're running over a little bit. We'll get over to Writer's Lounge in a
Stop
sec, but
sharing
Lisa's
and
working on a
done.
book, so this is appropriate for her as well.
So when the book is then ready, you want to you want to be able to download it and have it uploaded on a Google Drive. Okay. Now that Google Drive is not a link to share on social media. You want to hyperlink that link. I'm sorry, I'm not able to do screen sharing for that. But you want to hyperlink that link on your Substack account, for example. So for my Substack, let me show you all what this looks like before we get off. Because the goal is not just to create, you want to distribute, right? So if you have like a page, if you create a Substack account, the good thing about it is you can bring people here and they can always see something you've created, before. So I think there's something that okay, let's come back here.
And Lisa, I just pasted that in the chat if you want to pick that up. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about Substack. Truly, I'm so glad you brought it up because I haven't heard about it in a long
with
time.
Substack, you can add the link of the PDF version of the book you created, okay? And, embed the link, like upload the document on Google Drive. After uploading, extract the link. The link you extract is what you're going to hyperlink in the landing page section of Substack, so that every time someone clicks on that link on social media or anywhere, it takes them to your newsletter.
Yeah.
And then they will see the free download, not more than 3 pages, just so they get a visual sense of the value that you're about. And every time you make a post on social media, you can always add that link to that free download, to that free resource. Because as they're downloading the resource, they're also getting into your newsletter. That would be the goal to, that's one way to constantly bring people into your Thrive while you're working on the book. And as you work on the book, you develop stamina to create other marketing content and to also, speak, meet people, and keep the conversation going before the digital product comes out.
Awesome. Awesome. So much great information. I really appreciate it, Bissell and Miriam. Thank you for your time. And if folks want to follow up with you, is that pretty clear on your website? How to get, reach out or join your newsletter. I saw that was front and center. So that's awesome. I love it. Thank you. Thank you.
Make this work, guys. I'm always big on let's, implement. And I don't mind following up, maybe if the opportunity ever, not like if the opportunity, I'm interested in knowing what everyone would have done by the end of, March. If that is fine, we can find a way of connecting and saying, hey, this is what I've done and this is what my visibility is looking like,
Awesome. Yes. Inspired us to do more. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
I really appreciate it. So
Yeah.
thank you everyone for
Thank
engaging.
you. Of course.
I have to run off now.
Yes, of course.